So today we're going to show you guys how to test a ASSE 1046 spill-resistant vacuum breaker using the USC 10th edition test procedures. You're going to need basically it's a one hose test, so you just need one hose. We're going to be using a two valve test kit called the Kruger Instruments TK2, and then you also will need a bleed off T, and depending on what kind of test cocks you have, you might need a flathead screwdriver. Our test cock, it actually is it's like a ball valve operated style. It's very good for classroom exercises. We do the backflow courses. But if in the field, it's almost always going to be a flathead screwdriver type, especially at smaller sizes. And then you're probably also going to need a Phillips screwdriver for the canopy and the bleed screw, depending on what kind of setup it is. You could need a crescent wrench of some kind. And let's get started with the test. So remove air inlet canopy. Open and close test cock. Bleed water through the bleed screw, just to get the air or any debris out. Install fittings if you need them. Ours already came with the fittings. Install bleed off T to the test cock. Attach high hose to attach the hose to the high side of the gauge and the bleed off T. The bleed off T is only there in case shutoff valve 1 is leaking, so you probably won't need it in the field, but it does allow you to compensate in troubleshooting for a leaky number 1 shutoff. Open the test cock. Open high bleed. Bleed all the air out. Close high bleed. Close shutoff valve 2. Field test kit must be at the elevation of the air inlet opening at this point. Close shutoff valve number 1. And then you just remove the bleed screw. So you might want to bleed off the pressure a little bit. You'll notice the pressure is going down. Then you see the differential pressure here, 3.6. That's your reading for the check valve. Air inlet, so basically if it's steady, you get that value, 3.6 for the check valve. Moving on to test 2, air inlet valve. Field test kit must be maintained at the same level as the bleed screw. And then you slowly open high bleed. Pressure goes down, and then you'll watch for the air inlet to see when it opens. I felt it open at about 2. So you want to get it at the opening point. It will maintain a good amount of that pressure, just the way spill resistant is set up. Close high bleed, remove hose from bleed off valve. And then you want to observe if the air inlet opened fully, if you notice it went all the way down. So cool, the passed, so again, the readings would be 3.6 and then about 2.0 for what you write on your test report. Close test cock, replace bleed screw. Remove all equipment. Open shutoff 1. Open shutoff 2. And then replace the air canopy. And that concludes the test.